Hey, welcome to another Hills Have Nerds Nerd Out. Today, I'm with you. All the guys are here. We got everybody except Travis. It's me, Josh. It's Aaron.
Hello.
There you go.
He got lost.
Slide boss. It's Lee.
Hello.
And Cody's back. Yay.
Cody exists. Woo.
Cody's here. Cody wasn't on the last episode, but he's here now. And so today, we're nerding out about our favorite sequels. Favorite sequels to video games, favorite spiritual successors. We're going to talk about what our favorite and least favorite ones are. And then when we say spiritual successors, we mean things that maybe weren't directly a sequel to a game, but we're kind of in that same vein and inspired by and, in honor of type deal. Maybe, and in some cases, probably blatant ripoffs, honestly.
Sometimes a blatant ripoff's better, depending.
Ain't that the truth?
Sometimes.
But yeah, so that's what we're going to nerd out about today. Who wants to start? What do we think of sequels in general? Like, what I saw somebody talking about like sequels in video games versus sequels in movies. Like, why are video game sequels on average just as good or better than the original game versus why are movie sequels so hard to be as good as the original?
I don't know. That is a good question. I hadn't really thought about it, but it seems like they are more successful, right?
Typically, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought so. I'm ripping off a Reddit thread, I think, but what the general consensus there was that video games, just as a medium to make a sequel, you take what was good about the first one and you just make it better. You add in quality of life, you add in better graphics, more options for the player, a better system for interaction. Whereas with a movie, you have to create a story that's just as good. And I mean, to that extent for a video game, you do as well, but movies are purely visual media, like visual and audio mediums, versus a video game. The story can be kind of shit, but if the gameplay's awesome, then that's kind of a banger, right?
Yeah.
Depends.
If you do the same thing in a sequel in a movie, then people just get upset that you're doing the same thing.
Huh, yeah, that really is kind of true.
It's predictable, and you go into a movie not wanting to not know what happens.
Yeah.
Most people don't care about what happens in games.
But everybody loves the mechanics of a game previously.
I mean, there's a reason that Mario sells every time. I mean, you know what's happening.
I mean, kind of, right? Like we know what's about to happen. Yeah. Mario ain't breaking no barriers, right? Like they didn't kill Princess Peach in the last one, Although
now it's ruined. I'll never play it.
Wouldn't that be something? Like that's the cliffhanger for the Mario for the Switch 2. Peach is dead. The queen is dead. Long live the queen.
That's when we get Dry Bones Peach.
Oh God,
Dry Peach.
Gross.
Hey, that's what it would be called. It was Dry Bowser. So.
Yeah.
Actually, dry peaches sound pretty good.
Freeze dried fruit is pretty good.
Let's go ride our bikes.
All right, so let's start off with just regular sequels, and we'll get into the spiritual successor stuff. We'll get into the sequels that weren't sequels. So what are some good sequels to games? What are some of your guys' favorite? Who wants to start?
I'll start off.
What?
Portal 2.
Oh, good one.
Okay. Why?
It was Portal 1 was
because portals.
So you're thinking with portals. I mean, Cave Johnson right there alone makes it such an amazing thing.
Who?
Cave Johnson.
I don't know who that is.
Have you not played Portal 2?
I have never played a Portal game. I've bought the Portal game for several friends, but I've never played it. I bought it for my kid. I've never played it. All I know is the cake is a lie.
Yeah, cake is a lie. So Cave Johnson was, it's a bit of a spoiler into the game. I mean, granted, the game came out. I was like, the game came out in what, 2011?
Yeah.
I remember right.
Ish.
But ish. He was the one who created Aperture Science. He was the CEO of Aperture Science and was trying to find a way to live forever. That's where GLaDOS come from. It was a whole thing. And he, at one point in the game, you go into like these old test facilities and you hear like pre-recorded messages that he left over the intercom. And it's fantastic because it's J.K. Simmons is voicing him.
Oh yeah.
And he's
J.K.
doing
Simmons
these,
is great.
yeah.
He's in everything, man. He's the best.
And he's doing these pre-recorded, and he's dying as he goes through these messages, and he leaves hilarious messages. Like one point, he's like, if life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. He's like, give them back. Demand to see life's manager. You take those lemonades. He's like, you know what I'm going to do? Take those lemonades, and I'm going to make a bomb, a combustible bomb. Cave Johnson is fantastic, but it was just, the comedy, the game mechanics were similar, but they were so upgraded. Mm-hmm. It added a 2-player mode to it. It was such a good game. And it's a shame that, that Valve just doesn't do a third in the game series. Because I'd love to see a third of that.
Gabe's allergic to threes.
He is.
Oh yeah. That's Half-Life 3 confirmed.
I think it'd be difficult to top that too, because it really has like an insane critical reception, dude.
Yeah. Oh, and the coolest thing about one of those things is it was set in the Half-Life world, because they talk about crap. Now I'm trying to think. Aperture Science talks about it's supposed to be a competitor to the organization that Freeman worked for.
Freeman's the protagonist from Half-Life, right?
From Half-Life, yeah.
BlackRock?
No, I can't remember off the top of my head right now. Let's see. Half-Life. If only I could. But
that's another, I've played Counter-Strike. I've never played one of the Half-Life games.
Played Half-Life 2. I didn't play the first one.
Black Mesa. That's what
Black Mesa.
Black
Okay.
Mesa.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, Black Mesa. Like they're mentioned in
Might as well be a rock.
Portal 2. Yeah.
And Mesas are made of rocks, right?
Yeah.
But they're mentioned in Portal 2. It's because it takes place in the same world. It's really cool. But yeah, if you have not played any of the Portal games, I suggest you go play them.
So which one has a better story, 1 or 2?
2. One story is, kind of there. It is mostly you just wake up in the facility and have to go through these, and you find out there's, the reason why you're going through these tests. 2 is where it really actually gets a story.
I think that's kind of another thing where we were talking about, what makes video game sequels more likely to succeed than a movie sequel, is that sometimes the video games that these things are coming out after didn't really have a story. They didn't really have, a whole ton other than just the gameplay to it, right?
Yeah, a lot of the old classic NES stuff, they didn't care about story. They just wanted a fun little game. Yeah. And then later on developed a story for it.
Well, one of my favorite things for, I think it was Castlevania 4, which is just a retelling of 1, is just Simon walks up to the gate at Dracula's castle and it's like, and that's the start of the game. That's the story you get.
But yeah, it's one of my favorite games. I love playing Portal. I'm not very good at it, but I love playing Portal.
So are we counting 3s and 4s and 5s as sequels?
No, sure.
Soon, yeah.
Yeah.
They are, I guess.
I always felt weird calling the third one a sequel.
Yeah. It only gets complicated in Borderlands, where they have, they have Borderlands 1, Borderlands 2, and then they have the pre-sequel, and then that's when it gets complicated.
And where does Tiny Tina's thing take place in there?
Tiny Tina's a spin-off series.
Okay. Yeah, but they're playing a D&D game, and it's
that's
what was it called in that one?
Bunkers and
Badasses.
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's they're playing that, and it's basically you just playing their campaign. It's after 2, though. I'm pretty sure.
Yes, both of them take place after 2.
Specifically because of character deaths and things, but
yeah. which the first one was technically just a DLC for 2. But
Yeah.
All right. Portal always looked interesting because it's very much like a puzzle game, right? Like it's
100%.
They're good.
yeah. I mean, it's not really an action game at all, right?
No. You do kind of. I say this in a very loose term with quotations. There is technically there's some fights in the game.
Yeah.
But it's mostly do this to actually do damage to the thing. Kind of. It's kind of solve this puzzle to do a damage more than actually do like shooting anything. Because all you have is the portal gun, which also doubles as the gravity gun. But that's all you have.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah, I never played. My kids played them. I've watched them be played. I mean, they're big pieces of gaming culture, right? Or gaming history.
Yeah.
Everybody knows what Portal is. I'm very aware of them.
Yeah. I mean, it's got great jokes. Like I said, great writing, great mechanics, great puzzles. Multiplayer's a lot of fun. Definitely one of my top games.
Okay, man.
And
Who wants to
shame
go
on you
next?
for not played it.
Who wants to go next? Not everybody jump at once.
I can go.
Yes. Okay. Good.
I actually want to jump in on Zelda 2, actually. This is kind of a unpopular one. Yeah. So the original Zelda was a great game on the NES, but I actually really, really loved Zelda 2 growing up. It's arguably the only actual RPG in the series, and I had an absolute blast with it. And it was different. It was wildly different than the first game. Completely changed the aspect of like the way you do things. It still had the spirit of like going into dungeons or whatever else, fighting your way out, killing Ganon, that sort of setup, looking for the Triforce. But absolutely adored that game. It's one of my favorite sequels of all time. Despite, people get weird about it because it's so different, but I thought it was an awesome move. I mean, not that I think the series got worse afterwards or anything, but it was great in my opinion.
What do you mean it's arguably the only RPG in the series?
It's the only one that has a level up mechanic.
Yeah.
To a point, yeah. I mean, technically, Breath of the Wild has a hidden level up mechanic, but yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of those comments recently about RPGs and such. It's like, just because we don't show you the numbers doesn't mean they're not there, which is a really fair point, Yeah. So it's like,
RPG can be a very loose term because technically in every game you're role playing, but
that was something I always thought about when I was younger. It's like, aren't they all RPGs?
Yeah, aren't we playing the role of somebody basically in every game? Yeah, but big fan of that game. So, and it's a divisive one. It's usually a good conversation starter as somebody that loves RPGs anyway. It's like, or in Zelda, it's like, I love Zelda 2. People go, oh God, or hey, nice, because people aren't like, yeah, it's okay. They either hate it or they love it.
I would rebuttal. At least it's not the CDI.
There you go.
It's not those, yeah.
No, what are those?
Abominations.
The Philips CDI Zelda games.
I like the animations in them. Like the cutscenes are really wild.
They're
Josh,
great.
do you remember the old YouTube poops? Had the guy that was like, bombs? You want them? We've got them. The king come out and like, scrub all the floors. And you don't?
No, I don't remember YouTube poops.
Oh,
Link, my boy.
I remember. I mean, are these like? Is this official Zelda stuff?
Technically, yes.
Yeah. It was. Was it Nintendo licensed them out to Philips, and the Philips CDI wasn't even meant to play games, and they were like, figure it out.
Yeah, they got Hotel Mario too.
Yeah.
All toast is toast.
No Mario. All toasters toast bread.
So why did they make the Zelda 2 like a level up system versus how they've done before? What was the decision that went in to make Zelda 2 so much?
Oh, actually, I don't know. Do you guys know?
Honestly, no idea.
don't know off the top of my head. If I had an assumption, I'm gonna say they just wanted to do something a little bit different with it. I mean, it was only the second game.
If I had to describe it in one word, I'd probably just say Miyamoto. Miyamoto.
Yeah.
And they never went back to the level. I mean, I guess it was shit.
Like
they didn't like it.
It was so divisive that I don't think they really wanted to go back to it.
But.
I think it seems like I read in an interview that Miyamoto stands by it too. He was like, it's a good game. So
a lot of people don't like it because it's different, and I think it's a pretty good game.
I mean, mechanically, it's solid. It's a good game.
Yeah, and
I'm not a big fan of it, but
it was also the introduction of Shadow Link, or Dark Link. Mm-hmm. So,
was this one for the NES as well? Was Zelda 2 for the NES?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh. Hey, if you want to know how to play Zelda 2 on the NES and you don't own an NES, go listen to the last episode on emulate. Great thing. We don't condone stealing unless you really want it.
But yeah, it's definitely one of those games. I love it anyway, but I have a lot of fond memories with it. But again, it's a great conversation starter. That's kind of how you that's how you can test the water with people and you jump in conversations. Like, well, what's your favorite Zelda game? I'm like, well, I really like Zelda 2. And then you gauge the way they respond.
They just immediately pass out.
I just don't understand why someone would hate it. Like what's wrong with level ups? Everybody loves filling bars, man. Everybody loves their Skinner box games.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people who didn't like Wind Waker just because of the style.
The animation style.
Yeah.
I don't like Wind Waker just because of the ocean.
Wind Waker's the cartoony one, right?
Yeah, it's cel shaded.
I
think it's beautiful.
The game is gorgeous. I think it looks fantastic.
I hate that ocean.
Freaking ocean.
Me too.
I don't think it's fun.
It's like, this would be great on land. Like,
well, he is also a man of culture.
Yep. And when I found out, I played through the Wii U HD version or whatever, and I realized afterwards that they had cut a lot of that crap
they
out.
Shrunk the ocean, and I thought it was still too big.
Yeah, I was like, my goodness, it used to be bigger.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't as bad as you got the larger sail and you could sail faster. So
well, I would set a destination. I'm like, I'm gonna go make a sandwich. I'm come back sitting there eating a sandwich. It's like, pirates are attacking me. Don't leave me alone in a minute. And just sit there and eat a sandwich and watch as I sail by, because you get literal nothing for beating them, like rupees, I guess. And it's like, I don't need those. Okay.
100%. I did the same thing. But
like whenever my go-to is to ignore half the game, I don't feel like it's a good game.
Oh, you know what's weird to think about is that this is kind of off track, but I guess it's still Zelda. Is I really love Breath of the Wild. It is actually my favorite Zelda, and it's kind of like Wind Waker, but there's no water, like, or at least not to that extent.
Yeah.
So it's like
Breath of the Wild better. So
so Breath of the Wild, I can go, oh, cool. What's that? I could do the same thing in Wind Waker, but I don't want to sail over there because it's such a chore.
I will definitely say that Breath of the Wild basically did Wind Waker better, because you have long distances between your destinations, but there are things filled in between there.
Yep. Oh, what's that?
I think that might have just been limitations on the GameCube, but I mean, still.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
I want us to do. We got to do an episode this year on just Zelda.
That'd be great.
Zelda. I'm saying this out loud, so anybody listening, like, I'm making the promise to the listeners, we're going to do a Legend of Zelda episode this year.
Let's do it in November.
And I'm going to say nothing. I'm going to do the intro and introduce you all, and then I'm going to shut the hell up, and I'm just going to listen to you, because I have nothing to ask of any consequence. And you guys are just giant, you nerds, man. Like, you just friggin' nerds.
Listen,
well, actually getting your take on some stuff, Josh, might be a way to go about that. It's like, here's 3 people that really love Zelda, and here's somebody that is not as invested. So your questions and comments might be really valued in that sense. So
we should do it in November.
Wow, what's in November?
That was the original Zelda's release month.
Yeah, that's Zelda's birthday.
All right. You heard it here. November episode of The Hills Have Nerds this year, 2025 November episode. So you're going to get your Thanksgiving dinner, and you're going to get your Legend of Zelda Hills Have Nerds. That's what we're doing.
We're going to ruin your triple N.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. but probably.
I don't say it out loud.
Sploosh.
You're triple N. You're not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
you know.
if they're listening here, that's been spent a long time ago. That was 12:02 November 1st.
It's like, if you don't listen to us all year, come on our Facebook.
Yeah. There you. Okay, let's move on. Cody, what's your sequel you want to talk about? What's a sequel you like?
I think I want to do Resident Evil 4.
Why is it better? Why is it better than the first?
I was debating 2 and 4, but I think I'm gonna do 4.
Okay, Resident Evil 4. Sorry, I interrupted.
Yeah, the GameCube one specifically, because the remakes, whatever. We'll just go on the original, and I really like it because it still uses the tank controls. It just hides it in there. Like, you don't feel like it is, kind of, but it is. It's third person over the shoulder, but still using tank controls on the GameCube, and it ends up working out really well on that one. And you have all the cheesiness of Resident Evil dialogue. Like, it's all just thrown out there, but the story still feels a little more coherent and put together. Like, I guess it's more presented in that one than it has been in the other ones, because all the other ones you pretty well, like, you got snippets from them, but you pretty well had to get what was going on through documents and stuff, which is fine. I like doing that. But 4 actually had the story like front and center for you to go through, and then there was documents to fill in like background stuff if you wanted it. Which
one was 4?
The one in Spain with Leon trying to rescue the president's daughter.
Okay, that's the one you've been playing the remake of.
Yeah, that's the one that was playing the Berserker mod of the remake, and
yeah,
it's great.
Yeah, I was just if you all out there want to see like a super fun, I hesitate, a super frustrating playthrough. It's fun to watch Cody get frustrated. Of him on his Twitch stream, which we always link to the boys' Twitch streams and their YouTubes. Go check out. Cody, do you have any VODs of that? Of your Berserker run through?
I'll have to check. They only stay for so long, and I hadn't been saving them. I need to.
Yeah, I think I just see a satisfactory one, but just go check out Cody's Twitch and watch him play this Berserker mod of Resident Evil 4. And what is the Berserker mod, Cody?
Do you know Kazo Mario? Heard of it?
Sure.
Okay. It's basically Kazo Resident Evil. It's meant to make the game as difficult as possible. And it was like, if you know anything about Resident Evil, from chapter 1 until the end of chapter 2, I think, I killed and or ran from 7 chainsaw enemies. And in the original game, I think you might see one and you're not even expected to kill it.
It just like populates the game with really powerful enemies. It was crazy watching him just constantly have to fight a dude with a chainsaw, and all Cody had was a Bowie knife.
Yeah.
And it was fantastic.
It dropped me in a room, and I had 2 chainsaw enemies and 2 brutes. No, sorry. There was 3 chainsaw enemies, 1 brute, and a JJ, which is a guy that comes in with a Gatling gun. And it was in like one small little room. It was miserable. Made it through, though.
Yeah, you did finally do it.
So what else about Resident Evil 4 separates it from, like, because there's a million sequels to Resident Evil, right?
Yeah, they're working on 9 currently, but I mean, there's spin-offs and everything.
So what separates Resident Evil 4 from the other ones for you?
I think it's, it still maintains the cheesiness of the old school ones, but it's also still has a element of horror running through it that's not hidden behind the action that's still there. Like RE5 and 6, you pretty well lost all the horror. They were basically just action shooters at that point.
Okay,
And
so you think this one's like the last one that was kind of true to the Resident Evil's horror roots?
yeah, like 5 and 6, like I can understand the progression because after a certain point the characters are like, I have been through this so much, I really just don't care anymore. Like they're jaded, not afraid of it. So I get it.
There's only so many times the ghost can pull the covers off you in the bed and then it stops being scary and just starts being annoying.
Yeah, right.
Like I gotta go to work in the morning. I can't Patrick Swayze it around the house at all hours of the night. Okay, I got stuff to do.
Basically, and so like I understand the progression of 5 and 6, and 5 is still a good game. 6 is okay, but I think 4 was the last one that truly held like the full Resident Evil spirit, and they also nailed that in the remake. So,
and yet you still feel the need to make it worse.
Yeah, of course. I played through all these games so much that whenever I can sit down and do a speed run I'm nowhere near world record pace, but I beat RE2 in like an hour. So anything that I can do to make it more difficult, I feel like adds for me. I know that's, psychotic and not necessarily everyone else's view, but maybe I just like hurting myself sometimes.
I was actually going to say before that was like, Josh was like, you just want to make it harder. I was like, that's just Cody.
Yeah, I've done Zelda randomizers too. So,
oh my gosh, yeah.
I'm still working on a run of Resident Evil 2 from 1999. So the fact that you can beat it in an hour and it's taken me 26 years to beat Resident Evil 2.
That's my favorite one on the PS1 though. It's 2.
Yeah. Yeah, mine too. And 1 and 2 are the only ones that I actually played. Yeah, 2 is definitely my favorite.
So what sequel are you going to talk about?
Me? My favorite sequel? My favorite one that I wanted to bring to the table today was Diablo 2.
Oh, wow.
Arguably one of the greatest video games of all time.
It's my favorite Diablo, that's for sure.
It is phenomenal. I mean, I have so much nostalgia tied into that game from being in high school and just playing so much. Like so the game came out like around 2000. I think I got it when I was in 8th grade. I think I was in 8th grade, and so it came out when I was in 7th grade. We got it when I finally had a computer that could run it in like 2001. And then it just countless upon countless hours and hours and hours into that game. And then Lord of Destruction came out, the sequel, and oh my God, it was phenomenal. And the story's amazing. It's so great. And it's just, it does Diablo the best out of any of the Diablo games to me. Like
I've heard a lot of people say that.
Yeah, like 1 set the stage, 1 set the table and kind of introduced you to the world of Sanctuary and kind of what to expect from the story and the characters. And it was fun. And it was fun for what it was. One walked so 2 could run. But just Diablo 2 was so good with its atmosphere. Just the sounds of the Bloodmoor and or the Bloodfen and the Dark Marsh and all these, just the soundscapes of the area at Highlands and all of that when you're playing through those games are just phenomenal. And they still stick with me. Like I played the remastered or resurrected they came out with in 2021.
I had the battle chest with 1 and 2 in it.
Yeah.
Loved 2.
I played the resurrected. It was so good.
I never really played Diablo, so
Code's phenomenal. It's amazing. Lee, did you ever play it?
Yeah, Diablo 2 is probably like my 4th favorite Diablo. I'm kidding.
Your
Like,
fourth favorite. I was like, wait.
There's only 4 of them.
yeah, maybe all 4.
You heretic. You heretic.
No, it's universally acclaimed as like the best one, man. To my knowledge, like that seems to be the general consensus is that it's the one. And I played it and absolutely loved it. I didn't play it to the same extent that everybody else in high school was playing it, but I did play it enough to enjoy it. But yeah, it's awesome. Absolutely, like a culture shift or something. I mean, it's major.
I mean, hundreds of hours when they poured into that thing. And one thing just about the story of it, and I don't know, maybe I'm overselling it, but you saw that this trope that was used in Diablo, that it really, in Diablo 2, that it really sold like how dark and unforgiving this world is. Because Diablo 1, you have, your unnamed adventurer, right? That never gives the hero a name. You're one of 3 classes or something. And you kind of show up and you defeat Diablo and pull him into yourself to there, lock him away. That's, the hero makes the ultimate sacrifice to contain Diablo inside of himself. And then Diablo 2, that's kind of like Diablo has kind of this like semi-happy ending, right? The hero's strong enough to seal the evil away forever. Well, Diablo 2, like it starts off, no, that's definitely not the case. That there's been this dark wanderer heading around, and we learn as we go through the game that this dark wanderer is the protagonist from Diablo 1.
Yeah.
And that is where Diablo is coming back from, just corrupting and eating away the hero. And it's this like really tragic end for what was supposed to be the hero of that story, right? And I feel like Diablo 3 tried to do that a little bit with oh my god, I can't remember her name. Deckard Cain's granddaughter, who ends up getting overcome by Diablo and killed. But I just don't think they did it well enough. There's just something about the way the story was presented and the voice acting in Diablo 2 that just really sold that that bleak horror. And I don't know if it was just because we saw it into that 3 didn't really pull it off enough. It was kind of like expected, it was kind of same of the same. It was sad, right? But it just wasn't, it didn't hit the same as realizing that, oh, this is our character. This is our guy who is all for nothing. Diablo's back. Congratulations. You did your best, but it ultimately wasn't worth it, And it was so good. Just the itemization and the fun of like the set like collecting set items and just going through just wave after wave, like really introduced me and just set the stage for just my love for ARPGs, like kind of the top-down isometric click to move ARPGs.
Yes, I've played a couple of the others, and like they were fine. So I mean, I'd like to go back and try Diablo because I mean, it'd be nice to see granddaddy of them.
Leah is the granddaughter of Deckard Cain.
Yeah, close enough.
Yeah, Lee is.
Stay a while and listen.
Stay a while and listen. Yeah. But it was just, I mean, it was amazing. And I have such good memories of, because that was when, or like Battle.net first came out.
Yeah.
Right. So you had Blizzard launching free online play with Battle.net. And so, me and buddies from high school would get on and play till 4 or 5 a.m. and just doing Bale runs and Pendleskin runs and Mephisto runs, Hell Act 4, and just feeling so amazing when I was high enough level and could like carry people through everything. We have a buddy that would start like, oh, well, let me just get you through Act 5 Hell just real quick. Just boom, 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 boom.
Was it Will?
It wasn't Will.
Just curious.
I'm pretty sure I played with Will. So there was a lot of us that would play.
I use that all the time in my legitimate copy of Diablo 2.
Oh, dude, I absolutely ruined some of my save files with a crack, with like a hacking bot for Diablo 2 with the map hacks. make the map show up and show me where all the bosses and stuff were on the maps. It broke so bad I had to completely like uninstall, wipe it off again. That was before your games were saved in the cloud and stuff. If you uninstalled it, you don't have it anymore, right?
Yeah. That's gone.
That was back in the day before the cloud, kids. Way back before.
Stay a while and listen.
Stay a while.
Listen.
Oh, I love it. I love the Diablo series, and I always have. I actually haven't played Diablo 4 yet, and I'm starting to think I'm missing out. But then every now and then I'll look up something about it or hear a friend talk about it. I'm like, well, maybe I'm not.
I don't have $10,000 to throw at loot boxes.
That's what killed me. Like that was the whole reason I couldn't. Like, it's just a bastardization of what Diablo was to me. Like the real money auction house from Diablo 3 almost ruined that game for me, even though I made quite a bit of money off of that. But it's just gross. It just feels gross.
What was the one on the phone?
Oh, that's Diablo Immortal.
Immortal, yeah, that ruined it when people were spending so much on.
Oh yeah.
Don't you guys have cell phones?
Yeah, that was the quote. Don't you guys have phones? Because they announced it and just lukewarm reception. We got Diablo Immortal, and you could literally like hear crickets in the crowd, like some dude just clearing his throat, coughing in the crowd. You could hear it.
That's whenever you announce a game and you hear somebody just kind of. It's like, oh,
That coffee.
like one dude in the back going, "Yay!"
Don't you guys have phones?
Don't you guys? Well, he's like, "What?" And literally, the guy giving the speech looked at the girls like, "What? You guys don't have phones? Oh my god, you tone deaf bitch! Really?"
that was not the correct answer.
No, that news. That's not the problem.
I saw Naked Gun, like where they slap their foreheads after he says something stupid. It's immediately.
Pretty much.
Oh man!
But for what it's worth, Diablo Immortal has still made almost $1 billion or $500 million. So it's not like it's doing bad. And
that's
apparently they did have phones.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, sadly, the people that played it, it's those people that play the phone games and they go and for whatever reason they just spend tons of money.
Throw money at phone games.
Yeah. But I will say Diablo. So I'm reading for PC Games. Diablo 4 made more money in 5 days than Immortal made in a year. That's crazy. Yeah, that's still a lot. Diablo Immortal earns over $1 million per day. How crazy is that?
Nobody's going to pay $80 for your Mario Kart. Yeah, they will.
Yeah, they will.
They will. Some people won't, but a lot of them will.
I think that'd be a good topic for the small episode in April.
Video game prices, dude. Yeah, that's a hot topic.
Yeah, just a nerd out on like the Switch too, video game prices, that stuff. Yeah. Okay, let's look for that. But yes, that's mine. I could sit here and talk about Diablo 2 and the story and just the classes were so good. And the talent tree was so fun. Like the talent trees were good. You couldn't really respec until, later in the game's life. So once you put a point in, it was kind of there because that's how it was back in the day. We didn't have all these stones and all this stuff with quality of life. If we put a point in a damn tree, it stayed in the damn tree. That's where it was.
You better go to school and think about it before you make that decision.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You want to be a whirlwind barb? Better hope you like it because once you put that point in there, that's staying.
We thought this was the sequel episodes, but it's the back in the days episode.
Back in the days episode.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Oh my god. Yeah, it was just so good. And I played Diablo 1 before I played Diablo 2 before I played Diablo 1. Which, full disclosure.
I did the same thing actually. Because Diablo 2 was just so insanely popular. I was like, well, this is a sequel.
Shame on you.
I remember watching a buddy play it, watching him and his brother play and just thinking, this is my life. I want to dedicate the next several years of my life to this. It was amazing. They were doing, he killed Diablo for the first time when I was watching. He just thought it was the greatest thing ever. And the cutscenes were so cool. Like the cutscenes were good. The story was good. The voice, it was just good. It's just a good game. If you haven't played Diablo 2, go check it out on the Diablo 2 Resurrected. It's amazing. I think it's on sale like pretty much constantly now. so good. All right, what else? What are some bad ones? What are some sequels that disappointed you guys?
Oh, geez.
The
Or
Last
we can
of Us
move
2.
into okay, Last of It. So why is that one bad?
It's not necessarily terrible. It was disappointing to me, and that's played through it mechanically. It's superior to 1, in every way.
The new season of that should be out right now as well. So.
Yeah, and I'm not entirely sure I want to watch it because I actually dislike the story from 2 that much.
Oh yeah.
Which I don't know. Watching the series may line it out for me better, but it was. I don't want to spoil anything because you're going to watch it, but
Yeah, I wouldn't spoil anything for this one.
it gives you the way the game presents it is you're playing 2 different characters and you bounce back and forth between them, but the timelines don't exactly line up, so it's a little bit choppy whenever you're playing through them. Like events have already happened in some, so I mean it's a little messy in that sense. But then the whole thing is preaching that it is bad for revenge, like take revenge type deal, but it never gives you an option. You're required to do so. And I mean, for the story that they're wanting to tell, I mean, I guess it's telling you, and they're presenting it as this character is doing this. This is why this is bad. But I didn't like a lot of the story points. I didn't like. Like it honestly kind of ruined Ellie as a character for me.
All right. So you heard it here. Don't watch the second season of Last of Us. Cody said it's garbage.
I know plenty of people that love it, and it's like more power to you. I'm glad you do. It didn't hit with me. So I can't really say a lot without going into like very spoiler heavy. So yeah. I don't want to do that since it's just about to release.
So I really hate that I'm like this, but I'm definitely not the person that like when a game comes out, I'm not like scouring Reddit looking for reviews or anything like that. But the what's the word I'm looking for? Lashback, the pushback maybe on the story from the last. Yeah, maybe the fallout from Last of Us 2 was so insane that I was like, I love part 1. I was just like, I haven't even played part 2 yet. I was just like, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't.
Yeah. And I mean, of course, you had a little bit of that where there was, Ellie's gay, and then Abby in there. And there was, of course, some of those neckbeards and weirdos that was all over that. Yeah. And for a while, I refused to talk to anybody about the game because if I said I didn't like it, I immediately got accused of that, and nobody wanted to have a conversation. And it was like, I'm going to throat punch every single one of you, which is also another reason I don't like the game.
So not only are you homophobic, you're violent.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Yeah, it's
nobody actually wanted to have a conversation about the game because it was because there was so much divisive at the time that you weren't allowed to have an opinion on it without either side getting mad. And it's like, okay, okay.
Yeah, which I mean, for this reason,
yeah. There was a few people that I could talk to that actually wanted to talk about it on both sides, but I mean, for the game just didn't hit well with me. Mechanically, though, it's superior to the first one in every way. So
okay.
Ooh, God. There's so many opportunities here to jump into a new one, but I don't want to do more Zelda.
We'll jump into it. What do you think's bad? Like, we're on stuff.
Just go ahead and start ragging on Wind Waker again.
Well, dude,
oh my God,
one that was a disappointment to me, and I feel like this is kind of a hot one because it's still great. It's fantastic. I think it's still like a 9.5 or a 10 out of 10. It's Tears of the Kingdom, dude. Like, brilliant game, mechanically superior in every way. The story's better. I don't know. I feel like it was almost too much.
And you can build a giant robot with its dick out. Like what?
Right. That was when I was playing Breath of the Wild. I was like, this is great. But if I can't build a giant
robot with its thing out,
I don't know. It sort of disappointed me to the point that like I still think Breath of the Wild is the better game. But maybe it's just it didn't hit me the same because it's kind of the same system.
I kind of agree. I like Breath of the Wild better, but
I mean, also, it's superior, dude. Like Tears of the Kingdom is mechanically superior, like you said about Last of Us.
Yeah, but it's also the building mechanic. I just really didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So-
it's neat. It's just I don't care as much about it as I cared about the like climbing system, I guess, in Breath of the Wild. It didn't ring my bell as much,
Yeah, I get it.
Tears of the Kingdom was just Breath of the Wild with different mechanics.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
Giant robots with flaming dongs. That's what.
I mean, the story is so much better.
I didn't play it. I just watched videos, and every video I saw was a giant robot with a flaming
Josh
dong.
specifically looked up those videos. I need these videos.
On launch day, you're like, please, giant robot.
What has happened to my algorithm? I'm glad I'm here.
You built it brick by brick.
That's gross. Where?
My Alexa in the background's like beginning to order giant robot with flaming.
Transformers is like, please, no, Josh, no more.
But that's in the Zelda community. It gets a lot of that. Of like a lot of people didn't like Tears of the Kingdom as much as Breath of the Wild, and I think part of it is it was Breath of the Wild with just different mechanics, and that wow factor was now gone. It wasn't a brand new thing.
Yeah, I mean it's brilliant, dude. I absolutely wore that game out, but it's just I don't know. It's not Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, I had more fun running around in the underground, just like exploring the dark and seeing everything without anything built than I did actually building anything, because I guess that was a new map rather than just running around on the base map again. I mean, it was changed here and there, but
I mean,
Right.
the game was built on just leftover mechanics that he wanted to do in Breath of the Wild. So,
well, I mean,
Obviously.
didn't it just start out as like a DLC and it's like, it's getting a little bit too big, so we're just going to make a whole game out of it. And it's like, honestly, great. It was really worth being its whole game. It just it doesn't hit as hard as Breath of the Wild did.
Super Mario Galaxy 2 was actually the same thing. It was just all those extra assets, and they were like, you know what, we can make another game out of this.
And put Yoshi in it.
Yep.
I like Super Mario Galaxy too.
Yeah, I actually think it's the superior one.
I did too.
I mean, sometimes whenever you copy and paste, it's just better. There just wasn't enough in the first one.
But that's the thing with, like, we were talking about games, like, it's just a quality of life upgrade. Like, releasing a sequel to something, calling it a sequel, making it fairly similar, but having some quality of life upgrades, people are typically going to go, yeah, this is good. Just nom, 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 consume, consume, consume.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, pretty much.
Nom, 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 hungry, hungry hippos. Right? Oh, Lord.
Actually, to the point, that's the reason I'm interested in a Switch too. I was like, come on, give me Breath of the Wild with updated visuals, or Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild with updated
and
visuals.
they gave it to you.
And I said, nom, nom, nom. So I didn't even care about the rest of it. I was like, that's awesome, but I get Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. I want to play through those bad boys again.
Yeah, I am hyped about a Switch. If we can get one. If I can get one, it's going to be great.
Yeah.
We won't go into too much of that. But if we can get one, it's going to be awesome.
I was in the same boat, Lee. Don't worry. I was like, dang it, Nintendo, going to make me spend more money on the same games again.
So I'll do it. Why do you hurt me so?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. Okay, let's move on to the second half of the episode and talk about sequels that weren't sequels. You know what I mean? Let's talk about the spiritual successors.
Oh, spiritual
Games that to the untrained eye, you may go, oh, well, this is just like Banjo-Kazooie. This is pretty much the same thing. Is this a sequel to it? Well, turns out it's not.
Conveniently, that was my bad sequel.
Oh, there you go.
That I had in my
I didn't mean to skip you. Well, there we go. So
that was my
Nuts
bad.
and Bolts. So is that the sequel to Yooka-Laylee?
No, Banjo-Kazooie.
Banjo-Kazooie.
Okay.
Banjo-Kazooie, Nuts and Bolts. It was after Microsoft had acquired Rare, so they made a sequel called Banjo-Kazooie, Nuts and Bolts, which is Banjo-Kazooie. And for some reason, they thought, you know what this needs? Cars.
You know why it needed cars? So you could sell toys.
They didn't sell any toys.
Really?
Yeah, actually, if they had toys for that, I'd be down. But
I feel like the design wise of it, I feel like they had originally started out making a collectathon like Banjo-Kazooie was, and then somewhere along the lines decided they didn't want to do that because they wasn't selling anywhere, but they already had a world built and it was massive and they didn't have anything in it. And they were like, well, we could just put cars in it so they can drive from one point to the other because there's also still nothing in the world.
It was an empty world and you were supposed to drive this car around doing these missions, and the car, it did not work well at all. The car didn't handle well because you had to design your car and build it from pieces, and you had to collect pieces to build, to redesign your car to do certain tasks, and it just did not go well.
That's not a carburetor, Banjo.
But that's my big game. That's the game that I was like, oh, I was so disappointed in because I was so excited for a Banjo-Kazooie sequel.
That one's also not just disappointing; it is just bad.
But okay, now we can continue. I've my small rant about Banjo Nuts and Bolts.
Well, was anybody going to mention the Yooka-Laylee for their spiritual sequel by chance?
I was.
Perfect.
They go into that.
Hey, but luckily, most of the team that separated from Rare came out with what are they called? Something Labs.
I don't know.
I'm looking it up real quick. What is it called?
Platonic Games?
Platonic Games.
Platonic Games. It's not Labs at all. Okay. They came out with a company called Platonic Games and developed Yooka-Laylee, which is a spiritual successor to Banjo-Kazooie. Because instead of a bear and bird, it's a Yooka is the iguana. A chameleon. Sorry, not iguana. Yooka is a chameleon and Laylee is the bat. Instead of the Banjo bear and Kazooie the bird. And it got very mixed reviews, I think, at the beginning, because everybody was like, oh, they were really excited about a spiritual successor for Banjo-Kazooie. Just for them, when they came out, and it was just like Banjo-Kazooie, people were like, oh, it's just a collectathon. Well, yeah, that's what Banjo-Kazooie is. I loved the game. I thought it was great.
So what is, why though? Why do something like this? So why spiritual successors, I guess, is my question. Why do something like this when you could just do another Banjo-Kazooie that had name recognition?
Because they can't do Banjo-Kazooie. They don't own the rights to Banjo-Kazooie. Like I said, this is a group who worked at Rare. Who actually,
okay.
You may missed it because
I might have missed that. Yeah,
yep. They worked at Rare and started up a new company called Platonic Games. And they created Banjo-Kazooie as a spiritual successor because Rare still owns it, and they're doing nothing with it at the moment.
Okay. All right.
What is Rare doing right now? Anything?
I don't know.
There's a new Donkey Kong coming.
That's Nintendo. Rare doesn't have
Donkey Kong anymore?
Rare is owned by Microsoft.
Yeah. Rare's owned by Microsoft.
Oh, it sucks. Microsoft's like, yeah, get you on the chopping block.
Let's see the most recent thing Rare's done.
Last I seen, they were doing Connect games, but
I mean, they done Rare Replay on the Xbox One, but I mean that was just a rehash of a bunch of stuff.
I don't see anything they're doing new recently.
God, that is
they just
brutal.
They did some reworks in their studio apparently, but that's the last the wiki talks about. And that was last year, October.
They did Sea of Thieves. I didn't know.
Rare did Sea of Thieves. They did that.
Oh, I didn't know they did Sea of Thieves.
Yeah,
I forgot they did it.
At Microsoft's X019 event, they announced an action adventure title called Everwild. That was in November 2019. So I don't know if that ever came out.
Well, last year they apparently did a rework of their studio. So
let's get back to Yooka-Laylee. What is like the Rare episode? So what's good about Yooka-Laylee?
I mean, it's Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of the comedy. that Banjo-Kazooie had. It's got the collectathon. It's got, it looks better than Banjo-Kazooie, of course. It's updated graphics. It's fun. I enjoy the Banjo-Kazooie games for what they are. So I really liked Yooka-Laylee for what it was. It was just a Banjo-Kazooie spiritual successor, a clone. So it's a collectathon, platforming collectathon, which they actually came out with another one called
The Impossible Lair.
Impossible Lair.
It's a 2D one though.
Yeah, it's a side scrolling.
Yeah, it's kind of like a homage to Donkey Kong Country, the way they done it, I think.
Yeah, and it got really good reviews. Everybody really loved it. I haven't played it, sadly.
Oh, that looks really good.
I would say that it's enough of a spiritual successor too that like I am okay with Banjo-Kazooie. It's not my style of game.
Mm-hmm.
When I played Yooka-Laylee, I was like, maybe I'll really enjoy this. And no, it's still just not my style of game. I played it for a little while. I was like, this is good.
It's so similar. I hate it just as much.
I was like,
that's the thing with spiritual successors. If you don't like the old one, you're still not going to like the new one.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying earlier. Like I was talking about, a lot of people didn't like it because it was just a collectathon. But like I said, that's what Banjo-Kazooie was. So surprise, surprise, they said, we're going to do that again. And that's what we got.
It's like the clip of the guy that gets the bag out of the fridge that says dead bird inside. Do not open. And he opens it and he goes, oh, I don't know what I was expecting.
Exactly.
From Arrested Development.
Yeah, dude, that kills me. Like, that's exactly what I did. And I was like, oh, okay.
That's actually a dead bird in that bag. All right. What else? Who else has a spiritual successor that they feel captured the essence of the original or did better than the original? Whoa, calm down, guys.
I think I can go. I'll say Stardew Valley for it was a spiritual successor to Harvest Moon.
Okay.
I think at the time, Harvest Moon hadn't really been doing much because they were having legal issues with the name. So they weren't really doing anything because I think, was it Natsume was making them, but somebody else owned the name. So Natsume is making Story of Seasons, which is essentially Harvest Moon, but I think the other company's making Harvest Moon again. So whatever's going on there. But the guy that made Stardew Valley was making it because he liked old school Harvest Moon games, basically just a cozy little game, build your farm up, go around, talk to everybody, do whatever you want. But he done such a fantastic job compared to the old ones. Like, that game is massive. There's tons of places that you can go. Like, he's added extra islands in. You can go to a desert. You've got caves with combat that wasn't originally in Harvest Moon. I feel like the relationships that you can build were done a little bit better in this one. So, like, you can tell that he done it as like a passion project, and he done fantastic on everything, and the pixel art is amazing.
He's still doing fantastic. He said he was done with it, and then came out with another patch.
Done another patch.
He's another one that needs more pockets sewn onto his suits for all the money.
You're proud?
Yeah, but he's one of the cool ones. The newest, the new stuff. All of his stuff's been free. You just got to buy the game.
Oh yeah,
and all of his updates are free.
And that's a game developer you want to support. Like somebody that's gonna
absolutely.
Yeah. I know my wife is just a Stardew Valley fanatic. Elizabeth has 100%ed the game. I don't know. I think she's going on 3 or 4 times now, like fully 100%ed the game. And even with the new updates and stuff, she has a journal that she keeps all of her Stardew Valley stuff in. I'm pretty sure she loves her Stardew Valley husbands more than me. And I think she has a couple wives, which is cool. I don't judge. She's turned her children into doves several times.
She building a house for each one of them, or are they all just moving in at the same time? Or
I think whatever's going to get her the most golden acorns.
Whatever makes Grandpa love me at the end of the 3 years.
Yeah.
I mean, he's dead, but he comes back and judges.
Whatever's giving her the best outcome at the end of the game. Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't get into Stardew Valley. I loved the original, or it's probably not even the original. I loved the PlayStation 1 Harvest Moon.
Yeah, the original Super Nintendo.
Yeah. And then the N64. There was an N64 Harvest Moon too, right?
Yeah.
That one, I loved those quite a bit. And I don't know if it's just like the graphics of Stardew Valley. I just can't. I'm not a huge fan of like the contemporary games in, 8-bit style, like the pixel art styles.
I love pixel art, so
I mean, it's okay. There's some I really enjoy, but it's few and far between. I don't dislike Stardew Valley, but it's just not my cup of tea.
I think I just heard Elizabeth come in. I think she's gonna stab you.
I think she might be in there playing it right now, or she's playing. I can't remember. She's playing Skyrim. That's what she's playing. So Lee, what do you got for spiritual successor? Like, what is your favorite or one you want to talk about?
You hear my cat man in the background.
Immediately. We've done this class so many times. We're leaving this in. To hell with it. Leaving this part in. It's fine. So Mario can be in this.
Yeah, my cat is my spiritual successor.
Yeah, and Aaron's back. We're good. That's the spiritual successor. Lee, name a game. Talk about it a little bit.
So there's a game called Infernax. Have you guys heard about this game?
No.
Heard the name, but I can't remember what it was.
Okay, so Infernax is a spiritual successor to Zelda 2. Oh. Back to Zelda. Whoops. But it is. I played it. I saw like the gameplay for it, and I was like, "This game looks incredible." And I didn't really understand that it was a spiritual successor to Zelda 2 until after I started playing it. And I was like, "Man, I really love this game. This is fantastic." Then I got to look, and I was like, "Wait a minute, this reminds me of something." And I looked it up, and I was like, "Oh, a spiritual successor to Zelda 2." And I was like, "And Castlevania 2, actually." So I was like, "Oh, there we go." It just takes all the good stuff from Zelda 2, like the adventure, going through the castles, finding stuff, to progress in your game. It's kind of like a Metroidvania almost, but that RPG element as well. High difficulty. That, and it has like the Castlevania 2 sort of aspects in it as well, the very similar stuff. But it takes that, gives you the side-scrolling thing, the whole setup. It's basically just like almost like a skin for Zelda 2. But it's a horror game where you fight off monsters of hell or whatever, and you're trying to stop some big demon from destroying the land. Has awesome cutscenes, fantastic music. It's difficult. The gameplay is tight. It's wonderful. It was very, very critically acclaimed, actually.
You streamed it. That's where I seen it.
I'm looking at it right now on Steam, and it says, "Is this game relevant to you? Similar to games you've played, Conan Exiles."
What?
Now, I don't know if anybody out there knows what Conan Exiles is, but Conan Exiles is pretty much Ark, but set in Conan times.
That is not.
Looking at Infernax versus the bit of Conan Exiles I've played makes me think they're off on this.
I don't feel like that's even remotely accurate.
Although Infernax did just say it's rated M for partial nudity, and Conan Exiles does have a dong slider. So
there you go.
You know what? Maybe
they got it.
There we go.
Maybe they're not so different after all.
Actually, the more I think about this, it probably is more fitting to say it's a Castlevania 2 spiritual successor, but there's similarities to Zelda as well.
Yeah.
Now, is that on purpose?
I like Lee's suggestions, like, oops, all Zelda.
Oh yeah, like it's great games, dude. Like Nathan and I had that conversation before. It's like we'll play games and be like, we'll hear people say, "Well, this is just a Zelda clone." And I'm like, yes, that's exactly what I'm looking for.
Oh yeah, I have bought many games. Somebody was like, well, "This is like a Zelda clone." I'm like, "Well, that's why I'm getting it."
Well, this is just a clone of God of War. Sounds good. Let's do it.
Yeah.
The last Zelda game I only bought because it was a Dynasty Warriors clone.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah.
It's not as good as Dynasty Warriors.
They got a new one coming out, so
No.
I'm excited.
Yep. So
we actually got Hyrule Warriors I think it was the first sequel to Hyrule Warriors.
The Age of Calamity.
Age of Calamity.
Yeah, Age of Calamity. We bought it during the first flood because we didn't have internet, and Elizabeth and I wanted something to play, and so we bought it and we were playing it on Switch.
It was a good one. I enjoyed it.
It's fun. It was fun. Not as good as Dynasty Warriors.
But yeah, it's definitely one of those games. This Infernax game.
Mm-hmm.
If you have any interest in Castlevania 2 or Zelda 2, I can't recommend it enough.
I mean, it looks like Castlevania, like looking at it on here. And we'll have links to all this, like we always do. We're going to have links to all this in the show notes, guys. I'll probably have links to either like the Wikipedia for Infernax or just like the game page or the Steam page for it. If anything we've mentioned on here is something you want to go check out, just go check the show notes of the show while you're leaving a review.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So is this thing meant to be a spiritual successor? Like, it obviously looks like it.
Yeah.
But is it? Okay.
Well, I mean, it's I guess it's like the people that were fans of it. It's not the same makers or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it still counts, right? Yeah, Mario's having a good time. Dude, he just ate some food and he's screaming about it. Say, I ate food, meow. Existence is pain. I got the diabetes.
All right, that's pretty cool. For me, for a spiritual successor that I enjoyed, it would have to be Vanguard Saga of Heroes. Lee, do you know what that is?
I do not, actually. I was like, what is that?
Yeah. So Vanguard Saga of Heroes was the spiritual successor to EverQuest. Yeah, this was Brad McQuaid's baby. They crowdfunded it, got it going, and then mismanaged it into the friggin' ground.
Darn, I was going to say, well, my blood is itching.
Yeah, it's I think it's still available on like private EMU servers. Currently, there is a spiritual successor to EverQuest that is available to play called Pantheon: Rise of the Fallen. Have you played it yet, Lee?
Nope.
I have. It's EverQuest, dude. It feels a lot like EverQuest.
Oh wow,
it's a lot of fun. There's some quality of life stuff to it, but anyway. And Pantheon: Rise of the Fallen was Brad McQuaid's thing after Vanguard. After Vanguard failed, he went on to found his studio for Pantheon. And Pantheon has been in development hell for God knows how long. And they just recently, last year, went into early access. They've done a lot of changes to it. But it is absolutely the spiritual successor to EverQuest. Vanguard was the original spiritual successor because it's Brad McQuaid. That was one of the original EverQuest guys. If anybody doesn't know who Brad McQuaid is, I put Brad McQuaid up there with like Gary Gygax and Satoshi Tajiri in nerd culture. Like he's one of our tall tales, like one of the brilliant mind behind the invention of the MMO genre. Like World of Warcraft does not exist without Brad McQuaid. A world where 13 million people face down Arthas doesn't exist if people don't, drop into Kunark at some point, right? So Vanguard was beautiful. It was a product of its time, right? It was
okay. All right. I was gonna say, I looked it up. I was looking at the Steam discussions, and like the first one is like somebody saying don't install it. Apparently it's dead, and in quotations they brought it back to make money off players. The graphics are horrible, and it's not free to play. They constantly harass you to buy their stuff and limit how much you can progress in the game as a non-member. But then I scrolled down, and let me share with you guys. This was the next screenshot. I put it in the it just says "Og Nightmares."
Oh, that's honestly not as bad as what was happening with Scarlet and Violet. When what this can only be wrong. What Aaron has posted a picture of Vanguard of what can only be described as fetal alcohol syndrome blip. Or Zika virus hot air balloon. Like,
and then you had the nerves to be like, it was a beautiful game. And I was
it
looking
was
at it.
for what it was beautiful. Like the idea behind it was awesome. It was meant to be what EverQuest 2 should have been. You know,
I'll give you that.
There's my sequel I didn't like, EverQuest 2. F EverQuest 2.
Yeah, I'm kind of there with you.
Yeah. Was not a fan. Didn't like the art style they went with. Just felt like it was too much of trying to like arms race World of Warcraft. Like just not a fan. It lost what made EverQuest fun for me.
I'm lucky enough to not get into any EverQuest, so
I never played it.
So good. But yeah, Vanguard was EverQuest. It was, you're in this giant world. We're not going to hold your hand. Go do your thing. You know, a ton of races, a ton of classes. Everything's kind of, it just super, super sandboxy. It's not on rails. There was just, it had a heavier influence on crafting than like the original EverQuest, you know, because it had a little bit of a heavier inclusion of questing as well, but not that much. But it was just great, and it was so short-lived, and it's sad, really.
rest in peace.
Very sad. And they did, you know, suck as much money, SOE, Sony Online Entertainment, sucked as much money out of it as they could.
Sony being greedy?
Yeah.
What a surprise.
Yeah.
To no one.
But it was the absolute like quintessential spiritual successor to a game. And like I said, if you enjoyed EverQuest, anybody out there who's pushing 40, Pantheon Rise of the Fallen is Brad McQuaid's team. Before he died, he was working on that game, and now he is dead now, unfortunately. But that was the game he was working on. It was stuck in development hell forever. Had, you know, a failed Kickstarter and then crowdfunding campaigns, and now it's out. And that is another spiritual successor to EverQuest, one of the OG MMOs, which holds a special place in mine and Lee's heart.
Yes.
Yeah, which we really need to do an episode on EverQuest.
Oh, God, my blood. It itches.
But,
it's like the dark mark, dude. It's awful. Like people put it up in the sky, and I'm like, the Dark Lord rises.
Must answer Kazakh Thul's call.
Yeah. Anytime I talk about it too, everybody will just rises from the grave, dude. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, yeah. Will's more into it than anybody.
Didn't even know he was dead.
Will honestly needs to be immortalized in that game somehow.
He really should.
Yeah. Will, if you're listening,
like, yeah, I'll dabble. And then the next day he has like all of his skills maxed and he's 7 boxing.
Yeah, that's how it is. It's like you guys will be playing. I'm like, oh, I kind of want to play. I just watched Lee play it on the stream. I'm gonna get back on, and then I'll message Will. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna jump on. Where are you guys in? And he's like, oh, here I got all the stuff, and just like unloads things on me. I'm like, Will, let me play. Yeah, we've just been playing for a couple weeks. We're pushing in the lower gut right now, and Lee's 6 boxing. I've got 7 beast lords and a couple shadow knights, and Josh is running 2 clerics and a druid.
Yep, that's about right.
It's a 42-man raid, and it's just Lee, Josh, and Will, and Zach. Oh, but yeah, I loved it. I loved it so much. But now it's dead because MMOs are. It's hard to get traction with MMO anymore, I think.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what are some other spiritual successors? Everybody mentioned one. What are some spiritual successors that people wouldn't know that would be surprising?
Final Fantasy Tactics.
It's
I don't
true.
know if too many people know that one.
It's from Tactics Ogre, right?
Yeah, it was honestly the same. Apparently, some of the same development team even worked on it.
I really saw that playing through Ogre Battle 64 recently. So I was like, these cutscenes look like Final Fantasy Tactics, man. It's weird.
Well, Ogre Battle doesn't play the same as Tactics in general. They have Tactics Ogre, which is a tactics game like Final Fantasy Tactics, but they never done a sequel to it. They just keep remaking it. Like the PSP version was just a remake of it, and then the one that just came out recently is like Tactics Ogre Reborn is just a remake of the original again. But Final Fantasy Tactics was a spiritual successor to it because they kind of wanted to make another one, and they introduced, the extra class system where you could change. I think you could change classes in Tactics in the original route. It's been a while.
Change what?
Classes.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, you could do that. The game was a little bit easier to break as far as like mechanic wise. Like you could get your characters overpowered in Tactics easier than you could or in Final Fantasy rather than Ogre Battle. And then there was even some characters from Ogre Battle that their names get mentioned in Final Fantasy Tactics. I don't think they're directly referenced as those Ogre Battle characters. They just kind of like drop them in there, and I don't think they're even like important characters. So it's just kind of like a little Easter egg, kind of.
That's neat. What are some others? I guess the Bloodstain's kind of obvious, right? The Goji Igarashi one.
Yeah.
Used to be Castlevania.
I guess.
What is that?
Go into the Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. It's I mean, look it up. It is a spiritual successor to Castlevania.
Yeah.
It was great too.
The game is called Bloodstained, and it's Bloodstained Ritual of the Night.
Yeah.
Okay.
I liked the 8-bit versions better, like the Circle of the Moon, Curse of the Moon, or whatever.
Yeah, it's also very good.
I like those.
Okay.
But they're very direct.
What about Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle? Could we say Star? What was that game? It was that's that tactical game. What's it called?
No, it was
Spark of Hope.
Yeah, right. But what was the original game called?
Kingdom Battle.
Yeah, no, sorry.
No, the one that it's taking the combat from.
Oh, I don't.
Arcs of Hope? No, that's the sequel to it, right? You literally just said that.
It's supposed to be known as a brutal game, as in, is my hit chance 90%? Cool, I'm gonna miss.
Kingdom
like
Battle.
No. Okay, so Kingdom Battle and Spark of Hope are two spiritual six secrets. SOCOM. No, not SOCOM. Shoot.
It's not SOCOM.
Oh, you said UCOM.
XCOM?
XCOM, yes.
XCOM.
Oh, XCOM.
There you go.
Yeah. XCOM.
It's using the same.
That's what. Wait, what? Mario
It's using the same
successor to XCOM.
Yeah, dude.
It's using the same exact battle style as XCOM.
Oh,
Yeah, it's the top-down, nice grid. Yeah,
I don't know if you can call it that, but
my son played. I bought it for my kid. I was watching my kid play it, and I remember thinking, like, that's kind of like XCOM.
I mean, it is. It's XCOM with Mario, basically.
Where did the Rabbids come from? Like, what the hell are the Rabbids?
Rayman Rabbids.
Rayman.
I don't know how they came out of Rayman, but they did.
They came from Has there been a new Rayman game? Like, what's the spiritual successor to Rayman?
Don't know.
Oh, looking it up. Astrobot is secretly a spiritual successor to Rayman Legends, they said. The gamer wrote an article.
That's interesting.
2 years ago, someone said it's been 20 years since Rayman 3. Why aren't they making a new Rayman?
Oh, here's a wild one. Have you guys heard of RZ?
Oh, yeah. RZ's spiritual successor to the Zelda CDI games.
Yeah, we were just talking about.
What? Oh, yeah. I think Cody mentioned that.
Yeah, you gotta look at some footage, dude. It's wild.
The limited run done a physical release of it, and you could even buy a USB CDI controller for it.
What does CDI mean?
Jeez.
It's the
Failed
Philips
system.
CDI. I think it was Philips and like compact disc interactive system.
Yeah.
That's what it's supposed to be.
Okay.
But
Yeah, the Philips Interactive Media published 3 action adventure games based on Nintendo's Legend of Zelda franchise for its CDI, Compact Disc Interactive. These look wild.
but 2 of them are very similar, and then one of them is just like a top-down, off-the-rail.
That's
Different.
where that comes from. That's where
Yeah.
these cartoons, these
Yeah,
wild ass
yeah.
cartoons come
Yeah.
from. I didn't know that. I thought somebody just like drew that on Newgrounds.
No,
Back in the
No.
day. I didn't know that was where that came
That's-
from.
that's when I was talking about the
official
YouTube
material.
boots. That's what those are.
Oh, honey.
Yep.
Why did they cut so many corners on animation? What is this?
I don't know that the CDI could handle much better than that for like
Yeah.
actual.
Like I said, they developed those games for the CDI, and apparently the staff looked at them and they were like, "This isn't made for games." And Phillips just kind of said, "Make it work."
The hell, it's not. You give me money. I'm hearing a lot of no's, and I need to be hearing a lot more cha-chings.
Dude, I'll be walking around the house like today. I was walking around the house and I said, lamp oil, rope, bombs, you want it? It's yours, my friend. As long as you have enough rubies.
I have to say, I quoted a lot for not really caring for them. I'm
Yeah.
all the time like, Scaramouche.
Travis,
I mean,
Can
I
we-
even
can we find some quotes from this and put in here some quotes from the Zelda CDI, please?
I mean,
Like at
I
the
even
end of
have-
the episode.
Lamp oil, rope, bombs? You want it? It's yours, my friend, as long as you have enough rubies.
Oh my goodness! Golly!
Now you must die!
I even have on my stream one of the redemptions you can do is for a CDI Ganon going, "You will die."
Die. Or, I'm so hungry I could eat a Dodongo.
My boy.
I think that's a good
Yes.
spot to end it on there with the chaos.
Scrub all the floors in Hyrule.
Oh yeah.
So I sent to the chat. I sent a link to the song after you scrubbed all the floors in Hyrule.
All right, we'll put that. We're gonna put those links in the show notes. We're gonna have links to everything we talked about here in the show notes. That's funny. That's fantastic. But that's we're hitting towards an hour and a half. I think that's a good time to call it. Guys out there, thank you so much for listening. Remember, in November we're doing a Zelda episode. It's coming. Just be
Yeah.
ready. It's only 7 months away. Got a whole lot more of Hills Have Nerds to come there. If you want to tell us what you want to hear in between the Zelda episode and now, let us know. Reach out to us at our email. Send us an email at hillshavenerds@gmail.com. That's hillshavenerds@gmail.com. There is no the. What game? What's your favorite sequel? What's your favorite spiritual successor? What game do you think was worse off when the sequel came out? That they ruined it. They absolutely destroyed everything you love. Let's have a talk about that on the Facebook. Come on our Facebook. Come inside our Discord. Come hang out on YouTube. We got all that going. Anywhere you want to listen to the Hills Have Nerds and find Hills Have Nerds content, just go search the Hills Have Nerds and you'll find us. Lee, where can the good people find you if they want to talk about RPGs and their favorite sequels?
You can find me on Twitch at Pixel Bro Lee. And then you can find me on YouTube, of course, Pixel Bro Lee, where I do a lot of RPG content.
Cody, how about you?
You can find me here in the Discord and at twitch.tv/coffee break lounge. I've been on a big hiatus after the flood and trying to clean stuff up, so hopefully start back soon. But I'm there. Maybe.
Aaron, where are you creeping around at?
In Discord and on our Facebook, and I'll be scrubbing all the floors of Hyrule.
With his tongue.
La 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 la.
All right. If you're still with us after that, and I apologize on behalf of everyone you had to hear whatever the hell that noise was Aaron made, but leave a review about it. Anywhere you listen to podcasts, anywhere you enjoy the Hills Have Nerds, leave us a like, give us a share, leave us a review, leave us a comment. It helps engage with the algorithm, helps other great nerds find us, helps get our content out there to all the other wonderful people that would enjoy and love the nerditry here from the boys in the hills. Other than that, I think we're good. We will see you all later on this month for another episode of The Hills Have Nerds.